everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of No Limits. It's our Year 6 Leavers special.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to No Limits.
We've taken Richard's microphone away from him this week and have brought in a superb team of Year 6 presenters to take his place. I'm Lucas.
I'm Grace.
And I'm Alexandra, and we're going to be your hosts for this very special episode. The show notes are on our website at winshillvillage.org.uk/nolimits/6.
This show is going to be a happy, sad sort of show, full of memories and messages, but also of our hopes for the future as we leave Winshill Village and move on to secondary school.
Radio transmission.
So, what can we expect in the show then, Lucas?
Well, Grace, in this show you can hear our memories of our time at Winshill Village,
all about our dreams and hopes for the future,
our messages for the school staff that have helped us and supported us through the years we have been at Winshill Village.
plus, of course, some terrible jokes, the latest starting the week with Reverend Frank, the winners, a new sound in What's That Noise, and the latest school news.
Well, we'd better get started, and we're going to begin as always with shoutouts. We asked the children in our class to record messages for some of the many school staff who have helped them over the years, and this is what they had to say.
I would like to say thank you to Miss Trigger and Miss Irene for my lessons and help me to understand fractions.
My teacher shout-out is for Mrs. O'Heen. I've chosen her because she's done a lot of work with us and I've learned a lot from the lessons.
I'd also like to say thank you to Miss Whitley for getting me into all kinds of art and helping me to get better at it.
Thank you, Miss Soheen, for getting us ready for SATs, even though we didn't do it.
Thank you, Mrs. Timms, for helping me with maths.
One of my favourite teachers in Winshill Village Primary Nursery School is Miss Shipley, because she really helped to boost my confidence.
I want to give a shout out to Mr. Hickey and Miss O'Heen for getting us ready for SATs, even though they didn't happen.
And I would like to say thank you to Miss Shipley for helping me learn French. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Cox, for sanitising my hands at the door.
I would like to give a shout out to Miss Shipley for being able to teach me how to be confident in speaking another language and teaching me new instruments.
I would like to give a shout out to Madame Shipley for teaching me all the French I know.
Thank you, Mrs. Claxton, for teaching us in Year 1.
Thank you, Mrs. Hollidan, for preparing us for the rest of primary school.
I would also like to thank Mr. Hickey for being a great teacher and teaching so much and so many new things.
I would like to thank Mr. Hickey for getting me ready for secondary school.
Thank you, Miss O'Heen, for always helping us when we struggle.
Hello, Year 6. I miss you a lot. I can't wait to see you again next year in big school. I hope you're all feeling well. See you next year.
We'd like to thank all of the staff at Winshill Village for supporting us. Some of us have been here for 7 years, some of us for much less, but we all really appreciate everything you've done for us.
We've had some wonderful times at Winshill Village, haven't we, Alexandra?
Yes, Lucas, we have. Here are some of our favourite memories, the ones that we'll take with us into secondary school and beyond.
My memory is at Shugborough when we all went on the kayaks and kept splashing each other with water and did the rock climbing.
One memory I have is when Layla fell off her chair in lesson when we was in Year 5 doing spellings. It was funny.
Hi, it's Ray from Year 6, and one of my memories while having Mr. Hickey as a teacher is when he tries to move his mouse and it doesn't work, so he just goes woohoo, and like 3 people reply with big summer blowout. Also, another memory of Miss O'Heen is when someone would be doing really good with their work, and then she would just say they're doing excellent work, and we just carry on with egg jokes, and I'm really going to miss everyone.
Miss Whitley got me into drawing. She gave all of my class a caveman drawing lesson and I had to draw a moose.
One of my favourite memories is when I fell backward off a log at residential. I was simply sitting and observing the class when suddenly my body decided to ignore the law of gravity and send me flying onto my back. Lily just looked down at me in a confused manner after I had aggressively yeeted myself onto the floor. This memory still makes my friends and I chuckle.
One of my best memories at Winshill Village was when I made friends with Ethan in nursery. I was the first person to talk to him. My fondest memory of my time at Winshill Village is in year 4 when we went to Shugborough. We were all gathered around the fire and we all got to do something in front of everyone. Layla and I and a couple of other people did the conga, and Hubert got smoke in his eyes and was doing the rest of the conga blind.
One of the fondest memories I have in my time at Winshill Village is when we were on a trip and I turned around and walked into a lamppost. I was talking to Dylan, not paying attention to what was in front of me.
One of the fondest memories I have of my time in Winshill Village is when my best friend fell on sports day. On sports day, me and my best friend had a lot of competitive races, but the most funniest one was this one. The race began, I took the lead, it was back and forth. Then right before the end of the race, my friend looked at me and stumbled to the ground. He found himself lying on the green wet floor. He found it funny, so did everyone else, but I hoped he didn't take it personally.
My favourite memory of being at Winshill Village Primary School is when we was at Shugborough and all the girls woke up at 7 in the morning and we wanted to shower, so we got up and got ready for the shower, and suddenly the alarms blared out and Miss Duffel got up and turned the alarms off and asked us what we was doing. All of us was laughing while saying we need a shower.
That was really emotional, wasn't it? How about we lighten the mood?
Let's open the pencil case of giggles,
ring the school bell of laughter,
and line up for the assembly of hilarity.
It's time for the jokes.
Why wouldn't the shrimp share his treasure? Because he was a little shellfish.
Knock knock. Who's there? Doctor. Doctor who? You just said it.
Why did the ball fly to the moon?
I don't know.
Because Harry booted it.
I asked a Frenchman if he played video games. He said oui. I learnt this joke off Chloe. What did you call 2 banana skins?
I don't know.
A pair of slippers.
LOL.
What do you call a cow on the floor? Ground beef.
What do you get when you mix a dinosaur with a skunk?
I don't know.
Skunkosaurus Rex.
I want to give a massive shout out to all of the Year 6s. I'm extremely proud of everything that you've achieved this year. I wish you luck in your high school. Keep safe.
I just wanted to say a massive well done Year 6. You have worked so hard this year. I'm massively proud of every single one of you. I know you'll do well next year, and I look forward to hearing about you in the future with all the great futures you've got ahead of you. Again, well done, all the best, good luck for the future, you'll be brilliant.
Radio transmission.
Thank you, Mr. Hickey and Mrs. O'Hean. As you probably know, Mr. Hickey is leaving Winshill Village too, because he's going to teach near Dubai.
It's a place where the police drive Lamborghinis.
And also the home of the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa.
Safe travels to Mr. Hickey and his family, and good luck with your exciting move.
Reverend Frank Startin has often visited our school to speak in assemblies, and we've always loved going up to St. Mark's Church for the Christmas, Easter and end-of-term services.
So let's hand over to Reverend Frank now for the latest start in the week.
So as we come towards the end of term, I wanted to think about journeys, endings and new beginnings. For some of you, this will be the end of junior school and moving on to a senior school. For others, moving to a new class. New year, new teacher. Preparing for and setting out on a journey made me think about car journeys, or more specifically, me learning to drive. By the way, I failed my first driving test. I opened the door to let the clutch out. That was one of my favourite jokes, by the way. No, when I was learning to drive, I was taught to do various things before setting out on the journey. I was taught to prepare for the journey by looking at a map. And these days it would be a sat-nav or Google Street View. And then once setting out on the journey, I was taught to keep checking the rear view mirror to see where I'd been. And then looking forward, of course, through the front windscreen to check where I was going to make sure I was en route. Keep looking ahead. Of course, in the early days, I had someone with me to guide and help me if I was needed. As Christians, we believe God is with us in the person of Jesus Christ to guide and to help us, to hold us by our right hand, as it says in Psalm 73 and Isaiah 41:13, to keep us on track and support us as we might need it. So as we near the end of term, I wanted you to think about perhaps a car journey like me learning to drive. Look around you at the people that have helped you and things that have guided you. Take time every so often to look behind, in the rear view mirror if you like, to look at good times, things you've learnt, friends you've made. But most of all, keep looking forward, keep looking ahead, anticipate and look forward with enthusiasm and courage, with hope and joy in your hearts. And oh, what places you will go, and what new adventures you will have. And here to end with, I'm going to finish with the Celtic blessing, which is used for travellers, and it goes like this. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. So have a great summer. Have a great journey. This is the Reverend Frank Stars hymn. For now, just finishing.
Thank you, Reverend Frank, for those lovely thoughts.
Now it's time for the quiz that has Winshill wondering,
What's that noise?
Here was the sound from last week.
We had lots of guesses from listeners again. Harry thought it was a ping-pong ball being dropped.
Manahil and Ava thought it was a tractor.
Bear thought it was a whack-a-mole game.
And Callie, Amaya and Connor thought it was a pinball game.
Miss Twigger, Phoebe, Finley, Alexia and Jenna thought it was a springy doorstop.
Finally, Chrissy, one of our school governors, and my mum, thought it was a frog.
Those are all great guesses, but the winners were
Patricia, Razvan, Holly, Cassie, Erin, Chloe, Ella and Ava, who all correctly guessed that it was
a woodpecker.
Well done to you all. Here's the sound for this week.
What's that noise?
What do you think that was? Send in your guesses at winshillvillage.org.uk/no-limits/6.
It's now time for some more memories from our class of our time at Winshill Village. Over to you, Year 6.
My favourite memory about being at Winshill Village and Primary School is when we went to Cosford and I was at the back of the pitch black room and I couldn't see a thing whilst the bombs were bombing.
One of the fondest memories I have of my time at Winshill Village is when I went to Cosford Air Museum and Dylan and Elijah almost broke the back of the model tail of the plane. The tour guide came over and explained that there were too many children waiting on the steps at the same time.
One of my most vivid memories I have of my time at Winshill Village is when I fell off a red box. It slipped behind me and my head hit the table and I fell to the ground and I had to go to Burton Hospital, then Derby Hospital. When the doctors, who was really tall, came into the cubicle, he told us his name and put on gel on my cut, but I decided to wipe it off, and then I had to have a big needle in my eyebrow. My mum had to get out because she doesn't like needles, so my dad had to stay with me. After I got chocolate biscuits and a banana, after I got patched up, we called a taxi to go back home. About 5 minutes later, we got in the taxi and went home. When we arrived, my auntie and uncle were there babysitting. Then I had some fish and chips, a Kinder Egg, and then I played with the toy for a bit.
One of my fondest memories I have of my time at Winshill Village is when we went to Shubra and Tommy fell off the plank.
One of my fondest memories at Winshill is when we went to Cosford Air Museum in Year 5. Mr. Hickey took my group to the second floor of an air hangar, and there was a glass elevator, and we were going to go to the top of the hangar, but the elevator only went down and back to the start. But Mr. Hickey kept pressing the button. The elevator only went up and down, but not to the top floor.
Ava and I just laughed because we weren't in the elevator at the time. And we figured out you needed a key to get to the top floor, but we didn't have that key, so Miss Stakey just moved on.
One of my most fondest memories of him is doing PE in the mugger, and I fell over and braced my arm.
One of the fondest memories I have of my time at Winshill Village is when Nevaeh was crying with laughter behind me in year 3. Lucas and Tommy was doing silly things to make Nevaeh laugh, and it was really funny, but the problem was she couldn't stop laughing the whole afternoon.
My favourite memory of being at Winshill Village Primary and Nursery School is when we went to Twycross Zoo in year 1. I remember having a picnic outside of the Parakeet Centre, going inside the butterfly enclosure. By the way, it must have been at least 30 degrees Celsius in there, and going inside the lemur enclosure. We were all fascinated by the lemurs, especially me. We wandered around the enclosure, and I remember saying, "Ooh, lemurs." Me and my friends burst out laughing, especially Grace, Alex, Kira and Nevaeh, just as we left the enclosure.
One of my favourite memories from Winshill Village is when we were in year 5 and we were at Shugborough and we were in a hut. We were learning how to light a fire with flint and steel, and everyone was sitting on logs listening to the staff. The logs that we were sitting on were in front of a wall. Grace probably got so interested and she leaned back and fell backwards, her legs flinging up like a cartoon. She thought the wall was closer. Well, it's very sad to be leaving Winshill Village, so instead, let's think a bit about the future. What are the hopes and dreams of Year 6?
We asked our classmates what they want to do with their lives, and this is what they said.
When I grow up, I want to be a football player because currently I like the sport of football and I feel I would be good. But it comes with hard work and training. I also want to be a footballer because I've been watching football since I was 3.
When I'm older, I want to work in the police force. It looks amazing and can help people be good and keep the criminals away.
When I grow up, I'd like to be a Primark worker because I really like Primark and I shop for clothes a lot there. And my neighbour works at Primark and I think it'll be fun.
When I grow up, I want to be a tattoo artist. Mostly because they make a lot of money, but also because I have a very creative state of mind. And I can indeed draw images, patterns and much more. My skills to help me become a tattoo artist are my wild creativity, my current art skill and past art experience.
When I grow up, I want to be a vet or a dog sir because I want to help all pets to be healthy and all pets need care, and if being a vet doesn't work out, I'll be a dog sir in case the owner has to go to work and they don't want to leave their dog alone.
When I grow up, I want to be a carpenter because I like making things out of wood and I've started building a shed with my dad.
When I grow up, I want to be a nurse so I can help sick people and to care for them.
When I grow up, I would like to be a drummer or gymnast because you get to have medals if you're a gymnast, and I want to get better at it and win a gold medal. I would also like to be a drummer as well because you get to go on tour and also get to perform a lot, and I want to get better at it.
When I grow up, I want to be a pencil artist because I'm good at drawing and I think the job will be fun.
When I grow up, I want to be a mechanic because the pay is good and it won't be boring and I will not be doing nothing all day, and I love cars and motorcycles and working with my hands.
When I grow up, I want to be a WWE superstar because I can entertain every single person in that arena. I need to be strong, fast and a little bit smart.
When I grow up, I want to be a mechanic because I like how much money I would get and I love cars. I know a lot about cars and I'm good at math.
When I grow up, I want to be a vet surgeon because the amount of animals I've witnessed wanting to be saved, and I really want to feel pride if and when I manage to save some. I absolutely love animals. They're so obedient when you treat them right.
When I grow up, I want to be a Royal Engineer for the Navy because it involves helping people's skills and taking risks, and that's a risk I'm willing to take. I enjoy helping others and the sea and engineering, and also being able to do things and work together.
I want to be a mechanic because I like engineering.
I want to be a construction worker when I grow up because I like digging holes in the road and putting new tarmac down.
When I grow up, I want to be an architect because I'm very creative and good at drawing, but mostly I want to do this job because it is myself and it suits me.
When I am older, I want to be a paramedic because I'll be part of the first response and I could save many lives this way.
I want to be a footballer because I want to buy my mum a new house and to buy a horse and a dog.
Those were brilliant. Thank you, everyone.
Here is an illustrated summary of the news.
It's time for the news. The headlines this week are...
School reports released.
Miss Goodson shares information about September.
School website, a big hit during lockdown.
Our staff room wins a tea set.
Radio transmission.
School reports for all our pupils were sent home on Friday for children who are back in school and will be delivered next week for children who are still at home.
I haven't seen mine yet. Hope it's okay.
There's a news post on our website from Miss Goodson which explains more and helps parents to understand the information in the report.
Miss Goodson has also shared information on our website about September with advice, web links and ideas for how school will work when we reopen to all children.
Remember, the first day of term for children is Thursday the 3rd of September. We'll be putting on our blazers and heading off to secondary school. Speaking of the school website, we'd like to share some information with you about how popular it's been during lockdown.
From the day the school closed on March 20th until today, there have been 14,700 visits to the site and 68,000 pages have been viewed.
The Home Learning Showcase has been viewed 6,000 times and visitors have spent 56 hours watching our videos.
And guess what? The website has been visited by people from 41 different countries, including the United States, India, China, Australia, France and Spain.
Speaking of the Home Learning Showcase, there's some brilliant new work on there from Alexandra in Year 6 and Patricia in Year 5, so please check those out.
Welcome to Note Limits.
Finally, we were delighted on Wednesday to win a tea set from Dunelm for our school staff room.
Our PTFA, the Friends of Winshill Village, campaigned for us to win it in a Facebook competition, and it paid off.
So from September, our staff will have a lovely new kettle, toaster, cups and more in the staff room. Thank you to the Friends of Winshill Village, that's brilliant.
Well, that's it for episode 6 of No Limits. We'd like to say a final huge thank you to everyone in the school for everything you've done for us over the years, and also a massive thank you to our parents at home.
I'd like to say thanks to my mum and dad for being able to put up with me through the years and being there for me.
Thanks, Mum and Dad. Hope you've enjoyed the show.
Thank you to my mum and dad and my little brother James, I guess.
Thanks again for listening. Goodbye from me, Lucas.
Goodbye from me, Grace.
And goodbye from me, Alexandra.
Please send in your feedback on this episode. We'd love to hear what you think.
We're going to finish with an audio word wall from Year 6. We asked everyone to think of a single word to describe Winshill Village.
Here is what they said.
Bye everyone and have a lovely summer. This is Year 6 signing off.
Bye!
Awesome, caring, excited, experience,
Fun,
friendship, safe,
fantastic,
helpful, loyalty, honesty, exciting, peace,
memorable, positive,
respect,
trust, honest,
trivia.
Thank you for listening to Note Limits.